flexibility there. I want to move on real quick here as we near the end and take a look at some of the newer features that we've added to TRE recently that actually do kind of play a role in advertising and generating non-traditional revenue. This is our TREcast application. You may remember years ago we had a Newsflash Pro, and some of you may be using it. This is kind of the next generation of Newsflash Pro. This is TREcast, and you can see a couple of different stations listed there on the left. These are test stations, so it's XBEI and WBEI. But this utility would live inside the radio station studio, and it would give the on-air person direct access to create messages and send them out over over actually all of your different data casting displays, and you can see the different outputs listed there in the message. So what would happen, let's say I'm on the air and we're having a contest, and in this case we're giving away tickets to Summerfest. So I could actually, in that top field, type the message, call now to win tickets to Summerfest. And as I type that message, you're going to see all the different outputs below fill in with the exact same text. But then I can actually go down below and edit any of that text to make it read however I want. So if I wanted to send, let's say, a specific message out to Twitter that I didn't want on RDS or HD, let's say I wanted to put a URL in there where they could click to be taken to the Summerfest website or something, I could do that. And then when I get all my messages crafted, I can set a duration and hit send to send that. If I didn't want to send it, let's say we've got a big promotion and I'm the promotions person and I want to set it up so that everybody throughout the day, whenever they do a contest, is going to send out the exact same message. I can craft the message and then save it, and there's actually in that message field, there's a little drop-down arrow there on the right. I could click that and it would show me a palette of all the previously created messages. So it gives you some consistency throughout the day. Your on-air people aren't having to retype the same message all the time, so it lets you pick from that palette. This is also a good utility, not just for the studio, but you can put it in the newsroom or really anywhere as long as it's on the same network as the TRE software. You could put it anywhere in the station, but it's great for weather alerts, for amber alerts, any kind of instant message that you want to send out on all your different data displays that really has some sense of immediacy and you want to send it out right away. This is the utility to do that with. One of the other things we've been trying to focus on with TRE is to give stations more tools and more ways to interact with their social networks. One of the other big challenges that we found is that everybody really likes tagging, but it's also really hard for whatever reason to get into, not only for the station, but also for listeners, because up until recently, up until we had more of the portable HD radios, to really do tagging on HD, you had to have a tabletop receiver, and you had to dock your iPod with it, and you had to sync the tags back, and then you had to dock your iPod back with iTunes to buy the songs. So there were a lot of steps in it. And of course, not everybody has those tabletop HD radios. As far as RDS tagging goes, you're still a little limited on the receivers. It's mostly restricted to nanos and only 2 different generations of those. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to try to combine social networking and tagging and make it available to anybody on as many devices as possible. So we chose to look at Twitter. As you know, you can get Twitter on just about any cell phone. You can get it on your Mac. You can get it on your PC, just about anywhere. I can get it on my television. So we wanted to give stations a way to use Twitter to do tagging on all of these devices that had access to Twitter. So now, rather than limiting tagging to your HD receiver or your Nano, you can actually do tagging on a BlackBerry or anywhere else you've got Twitter. So the way this works is the station would have a Twitter feed with all of their now playing events. And what TRE will actually do is it will get your title and artist information from the automation system. It will do a lookup into the iTunes Music Store, and it will return the iTunes URL for that song. And then because of the length in the text issue with Twitter, it actually has to do another lookup and send it off to Bitly to get a shorter URL. And you can see in that screenshot of the iPhone there, there's actually a tiny URL, and it's been shortened. So you can see that it's not the full iTunes URL, but it will take you to the iTunes Store location. So TRE does all this and then spits it out to your Twitter feed. So now if I'm a Twitter user, and in this case I'm on my iPhone, all I have to do is click that, and in the case of the iPhone, because it does have iTunes built in, it's going to take me right to the iTunes Store within the iPhone. Now, if I didn't have an iPhone or I didn't want to buy that track right away, Twitter has a concept that they call favoriting, and it's very much like tagging. So I could see that the radio station here played Love is a Beautiful Thing by Phil Vassar. Let's say I didn't want to buy it right away. I wanted to tag it and buy it later. I can favorite it in Twitter. And then when I go back to my PC, I'll see all the songs that I favorited because they're going to have a yellow star by them, and I can buy them at that time, or I can just leave them there favorited and purchase them at a later time. So because of this favoriting system that Twitter has, you can essentially do tagging on any portable device on the market that supports Twitter. One of the other things we wanted to look at is additional ways to interact with social networks, and TRE can take your now playing feed, and we send it off to Ping FM. If you're not familiar with Ping FM, they're kind of an intermediary service, and what they do is they take a feed, and they will send it off to whatever social network you want. At last I looked, they supported over 35, I believe, different social networks, and you can see a selection of some of the major ones there. So with one feed coming out of TRE to go to Ping FM will forward that information on to just about whatever social network you want it to go to. So here's an example of that going to Facebook. Here's an example of the same information going to MySpace. And not only social networks, but they also support the status display in a lot of different instant messaging clients. So let's say your night person does a request show, and let's say they utilize Google Talk, or they utilize MSN Instant Messenger or something like that. You could now display the status of the user, of your talent, in all of the listeners' window on their IM client as what the current playing event is. And that comes again through TRE by feeding ping.fm. That's kind of the overview today. We're going to have a section here in a minute where we'll open it up to some questions. If you want to type questions there in the window on the right, if you want to get started now, feel free to do that. If you have any more questions, there are a lot of different ways you can learn more information on some of the things we've talked about. We've got a flash demo. You can talk to your salesperson or email me. We can get you a flash demo of the software. If you want to do a go-to-meeting with your staff, kind of a one-on-one personal thing between us and you guys, we can do that. We can give you a 30-day trial of the software, and of course there's more information always at bdcast.com if you want to get more information there. So now we'll open it up and give a few minutes to any questions. If you have anything, feel free again to type them in the window there, and we'll address them. The question is, does the iTunes link support our affiliate codes, or do you keep the proceeds? We don't keep any proceeds, and right now, today, we don't support the affiliate codes, but that is being actively worked on in the next iteration. Probably around NAB time, we'll have support for your current affiliate codes, so you'll get all the proceeds from any of those iTunes links. Another question, can Twitter's bit.ly links be customized using our bit.ly code, a custom URL shortener? That is not supported today, but if that's something you're really interested in, give me a call and we'll talk about some way we can accomplish that. It wouldn't be a big task to do. It's just not supported by default today. What is the process to update from Newsflash Pro to TREcast? There's not really a upgrade path, but we could work with you on that. If you call your sales rep, we can get you switched over to that. It's really the difference between TREcast and Newsflash Pro. TREcast was kind of really focused on one station. You'd set it up for one station, and you could only use it for one station. What we try to do with Newsflash Pro was set up that way. What we try to do with TREcast is really give you one interface for every station at your location. And to do that, we kind of had to change the infrastructure of the way it communicates with TRE. So rather than just sending a bit of text out to one TRE, it actually looks on your network and says, okay, I know there are TREs out there somewhere. Where are you? And all the TREs report back to TREcast, and then TREcast, they kind of subscribe to TREcast. So then TREcast can talk to each TRE individually, if that makes sense. So it's a little bit of a different system than Newsflash Pro, but give us a call and we'll get you switched over. Okay. All right, thank you very much. It looks like that is all the questions. If you have additional questions you think about offline, feel free to email me, jroberts@bdcast.com. If you want to give me a call, 217-224-9600. And I want to thank you all for joining us today, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.